Good morning. So I wanted to just go through some more shoes. I've got a lot of shoes. I thought it'd be kind of fun to tell you where I've gone with them. So I began it all with the Lone Peak. This is 5 years ago with the 2.5. That was a good shoe. Now this is the 3.5. I don't really even wear it anymore. The reason is that it's just not much padding under my heel. That seems to be the great search, is how to make it more comfortable on a long distance. And 3.5s have a short stack height. So I've not used these in a long time. So I worked up to the Paradigm. This is the 3.0, and it's pretty much trashed, but super nice. Love it. Great shoe. Good for long distances. I walk 24s in this, 25, and it feels great. The problem is, of course, it doesn't have much of a tread. It's just a street tread, which is fine on dry trails for me. But if you got into snow, it's going to be more slick. Even slick, kind of mushy dirt, it's going to be less traction going on. So Altra came up with the Paradigm 4.0, and this is it. It's very similar to the 3.0, except for one thing. It's got a very narrow foot here. Of all the Altra shoes, this is the only one I really felt a difference in the foot box, in just how tight it was here. I mean, it's almost a deal breaker. The good thing is that Altra shoes, after you wear them a while, they get kind of broke in. So I've worn this about 100 miles, and it's pretty good. I probably wouldn't take it for long distance hiking though. I'm just too afraid I get 18 miles out, and that just starts to bug me. The second part is I don't like is it's got a bunch of vent holes, and this is for road running. And most of the Altra reviews you see out there are for trail running, road running. They're not for hiking. There's probably only a couple people who've done a review on them with just hiking. And for a sandy trail or a more gritty trail, would probably let in too much dirt. So you have to stop and just empty out your shoe every 10 miles. So probably wouldn't work for that. But it's a good hiking shoe. I like them. I hike pretty much every day for two or 3 hours. So I usually don't wear out my most favorite shoes. I wear out shoes that I kind of, am okay about. While I love the 3.0, the 4.0 was probably not that great for me just based on this cut. So when I bought these, I thought, well, I love this. Why don't I go get more? And there was like one pair left. I think Backcountry had them for like one half price, free shipping, and it was like sold. So the problem is when you find a pair of shoes you like, you should go buy 4 or 5 pairs of them, because next year they're going to change it, and then it's going to be tighter or bigger or smaller. So I got this as kind of a backup. So that brings me to the Temp. The Temp is great. It's probably my most favorite shoe with high traction on it. It's got enough room here. It just tends to just hold your heel in tight. It's just an all-around good shoe. The complaints on it from trail runners were that it's a little bit sloppy, and I can probably see that. But for going on hikes, that's fine, because I don't need it to be super snug. I'm not going around a turn at 20 miles per hour. So you're just doing this all day long. So it's my most favorite shoe at this point. So that being said, I've also tried out the Olympus. This is the 3.0, and it's a really good shoe. I really like it. When you go up in stack height, when this number gets bigger, the worry is that you're going to roll your foot off of it. So they've kind of played with that, and they made this bag very wide. So it's not a real super light shoe, but it's a very stable shoe. It works really good. The one complaint on this with me, and again, shoes are so different, and feet are so different, and what works for me might not work for anybody else. But what I feel like is I feel like my heel does move in it. I kind of think that's because when the sole gets so thick, it just tends to be stiffer and not come with your foot more. So my thinking on that is that this is a 33 millimeter stack height, and this is a 29 millimeter stack height. And the Paradigms have stayed the same at 30 millimeters. So it's a little bit just less than that, but it feels still very flexible. So my heel feels very stable in this. It's no big deal if you're walking 5 miles on a day hike. Wear anything. Wear sandals. When you're doing 20s, 24s, 25s, man, you got to get that dialed in. That's why I spend the time in doing all this. Is that it's very important how your foot makes contact with the earth. When you hike 25 miles, you got to get that dialed in. There's no easy way, There's no, I mean, you can't guess, you can't go by somebody else's thoughts on it. You just have to try them out, and try them out long enough to where your foot kind of molds. You know, with all Altra shoes, is they do conform to your foot after, probably 20 miles. So this is definitely a shoe you don't want to just take out of the box and go on a 25-mile hike with. I think it's got to be broken in. I probably don't feel like it's broken in yet. It's got like 120 miles. So it would probably last a lot longer. You're probably talking 600, 700 miles on it. As long as this doesn't tear or break down. The sole is bulletproof. As where the Lone Peaks, they only last about 400 miles because there's just not much to it. So I always feel comfortable with the Altra shape. That's never a problem, except for this is a little bit snug. And I've always loved the zero drop. That's worked out really good. So I don't know. I think these will be my daily hike shoes, and maybe I'll just keep them in reserve in case I get tired of these. As long as I've got a decent trail where it's dry and it doesn't really matter, this is fine for most of the PCT, and they wear really good. So yes, it would be nice, as I said in the past, if this came with this sole, I'd be sold. But so those are my thoughts on the Altra line. There's always a new one. I'll probably try out the 1.5 when I wear out these, and then I'll want to buy these, and they won't have them anymore in a size 13. So you take your chances. So lastly, I've been trying out a thing called lock laces. They're kind of a shock cord tied to this little clamp. And at first I didn't really care for them, but they've kind of grown on me. What I like is that you never ever have to stop and retie your shoe. It will never come undone. That's super old when you just don't feel like doing it. The old ones were good in that you feel like you can change how tightly you lace parts of it, but that's probably just an illusion. After you walk a few minutes, they probably all become the same tension. The second thing is maybe you can check out is the orthotics I use. I don't have terrible feet, but I have a little bit just fussy. And these are called Fithotic. I'll leave a link for that below. Super thin. I got them in the thinnest sole that they had because you don't want this too thick. When that gets too thick, then your heel will shift up from being down here up to here, and then this begins to rub more. So they worked out real good for me. I've got a thing called a metatarsal arch pad there, and that feels funky at first. It feels like you got a rock under your foot, but after just a few steps, it goes away. I did have some plantar fasciitis 4 years ago, and ever since I've used this and rolled my foot with a ball, never had a problem. So I hope that's helped somebody, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.